All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's always amazing to have all you amazing educators here on a Sunday to learn and connect with one another. I love the community and the sharing that's been going on these past few months, and I love the fact that I get to be a part of that. So thank you so much for being here. A couple things before we do get started. The session that we're going to be doing is going to have a lot of Google Slide templates for you, and you're going to have access to every single one of these as the session goes on. And the very last slide on this slide deck has links to all the slide decks. You can make your own copies. I have no qualms about you making copies and distributing it out to as many educators as you want. I know we're all here to share and to learn together, and that's my hope for today. Also, we are going to be utilizing some Chrome extensions. The main one we're going to be utilizing is Screencastify, and all of these icons are hyperlinked to the exact place where you can get them. But Screencastify is going to be one of our main tools that we're going to be utilizing today to showcase voice and choice for students. But also, if you'd like to participate in what we call Annotating the Web, which is going to be one of the first activities that we do, this web paint is phenomenal with that. Super simple highlighter is going to be a tool that we're going to be looking at to highlight the internet, leaving sticky notes anywhere on the internet. And then also when we create these slide decks, sometimes you need that perfect color, that hex code of that color, and Color Eyedrop Picker allows that to happen. And then finally, we're going to be utilizing Awesome Screenshot. If you utilize Nimbus Screenshot, that'll work as well. Awesome Screenshot will allow us to take a screen grab of anything we're working on to be utilized in our slide snap routine that we're going to be looking at today. Also, this session is 100% interactive. We love to allow you to have you share everything that you learn, your aha moments, anything at all with all of your fellow educators, whether it's on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, or hey, we're going to be doing some TikTok stuff today. So if you're on TikTok, share this out as well. We just love to show learning happening in real time because that's what we want our students to do in class. And so that's what we encourage us educators to do as well. And then finally, I am a member of a group called the Sons of Technology. Even though the name says Sons, it is a non-gender-based club. And we have educators from all across the United States and Canada who are part of this. And the only thing to be a member is your passion for innovation, your passion for students, and your passion to share and speak, to collaborate with one another. So we do have a podcast. We do have a Twitter channel, and everything I'm going to show you today has its very own YouTube link, and that's going to be on our YouTube channel as well. So there's a walkthrough on every single one of these things. So if you think something's going a little bit too fast, just know there is a resource for you to go back at your own pace and be able to watch it. And I'm also going to be taking this recording and posting it on that YouTube channel as well, so you can share it out. So getting started today, here's a few of the things that we're going to be looking at. So we're going to be looking at Jamboard for collaboration, and we're going to be taking one of John Carippo and Marlena Heburn's Edu protocols called a sketch and tell. We're going to be doing that in Jamboard today. We're going to be doing a lot of templates for innovation in Google Slides. We're going to be looking at how we can app smash and bring things in to Flipgrid. We're going to be utilizing the Slide Snap protocol, which I'll be sharing with you. We're going to be sharing something called YouTube projects, TikTok in class, and then of course utilizing Screencastify and all these wonderful extensions right here. So the first thing I want to share with you today is something that I call annotating the web. Now this can be done for any project for any reason, but one of the things that I really love is for my students to look at real-time current events and articles for them to actually see that math and science and history and everything is all around us on a daily basis. So for my science students, I always love to take them to NASA. A lot of great articles, a lot of great things that are happening right now. But the problem is the students really can't interact with the internet. They can maybe take a screen grab. They can maybe copy and paste the text into a Google Doc. I want them to actually interact right here on the internet. So this is part of that visual learning, that choice of how to annotate the web. And this is where those tools that I showed you right over here that are going to come into play. So Web Paint's going to allow us to annotate on any web page. Simple Highlighter is going to allow us to actually highlight on the internet, and those highlights will always remain there. They're never going to go away until you actually physically tell them to be deleted. Same thing with Note Anywhere. And then finally, Awesome Screenshot. So let me show you some of these tools. And this is going to lead right into what I call the Slide Snap protocols. So let's say we ask our students to underline words they know and circle words they don't know and things like that. You can do that right here with Web Paint. So Web Paint allows you, it gives you a toolbar right up here in the corner, and it allows you to come in and actually circle right on the internet and underline and check mark. And I'm using a mouse right now, but if your students have a touchscreen laptop or Chromebook, this works phenomenal on that. And the great thing about it is it actually is not right on, it's not like it's pasted on the screen. It's actually following the text. So the students can annotate all the way down if they wanted to. It's pretty great. And so when we utilize this, we now want to also utilize highlighting. And that's where a super simple highlighter comes into play. The one thing I want to tell you is you don't actually click on the extension to make the highlighter work. Whenever you're working with text, you highlight the text, and then you right click, and then all of your extensions that work with text will be found right there. So let's say that we ask our students to highlight sentences in red that are important to the article. Let's say we ask our students to highlight in green parts of the article that represent what we've talked about in class. And let's say that we highlight in cyan, I think that's like blue, yep, blue, things that we still have questions about. So the students would come through this entire thing and they would highlight the internet all the way down. And here's the cool thing: when they're ready to actually go through and talk about what they've highlighted, they don't have to scroll through the entirety of the article. If they click on the extension now, it actually brings up a color-coded menu of everything that they've done. And from here, they can copy this and paste that right into a Google Doc. And then finally, the last thing that I wanted to showcase for you is the sticky note feature called Note Anywhere. And this allows us to actually say why we highlighted that. One of the things that our students always tend to do is we have our students highlight and read text, and they highlighted something red, and you go, oh, why did you highlight that red? And they go, oh, I don't remember. So this allows students to actually leave little educational breadcrumbs of why they highlighted that particular thing in red. And they can come down here, they highlighted this in blue, down. And here, I want to show you the amazing thing about this. If they exit off this article, everything there is still there. If I Control-Shift-T to bring that tab back, it doesn't go away. My sticky notes are still there. My highlights are still there. And it looks like our annotations have gone away. But if I turn on Web Paint, all of those annotations remain there as well. So it's a really great way for students to visualize what they're doing right here on the internet. Now, one of my big things about doing things in class with technology is utilizing a protocol that allows the students to, allows the teacher to at any moment inspect students' work. Inspect students' work so that they can see if everybody is on the right path. If not, it gives them a chance to recorrect and make those changes, and then it allows them to make those corrections. So we call that the inspect, redirect, make correct protocol. And it's hard if you're doing this on the internet, because unless you're going around to each of these students individually to see what they've done, you're not going to know what they're doing, especially in a remote environment. So that is where Awesome Screenshot comes into play. With Awesome Screenshot, all we have to do is, once our students are here, we tell our students, okay, I want you to take a snap. So a slide snap. And so what they do is they come in here and they click on Awesome Screenshot. And once again, if you use Nimbus Screenshot, that works just as well. We're going to capture a selected area. Sorry, my mouse is not. There we go. Or you can capture the entire page all the way down, which is pretty neat. And so once this comes up, they can then they can come in and they can re-edit what they're looking at. So now we have a snap of what they've done, and that's key. That's where we come into our first Google Slide protocol that we call a slide snap. A slide snap is a snapshot in learning that's happening right now. And this is based upon Tara Martin's snap, what was it called? That InstaSnap or a Snapchat thing. But there you go. That's it. There we go. Yep. So that is based upon Tara Martin's snap. And the thing about it is, you know, we can't always assume our students, especially our younger students, are going to have access to that technology, or the parents may not let them. So creating it in Google Slides is really great. And what we've done is in this slide, this is an image placeholder. So when the students are ready, after they're done with their annotations, and after they've grabbed their image right here, all they have to do is they come in to their slide snap, they right click and say replace image from a photo on our device. So it should be the very first one we see, and it replaces it right there. And if you wanted to have them resize it, they absolutely can by moving things around right here. So it's pretty neat to bring in what they're working on. And what we want them to do is then explain via text what they learned. Right there. So, and then after they've brought in their image and they've typed what they've learned, they overlay with an emoji. And this emoji is for two reasons. One, students love to communicate in emojis. And number two, it allows the teacher, if you have an entire class doing this slide snap, if you change the view to grid view, you will be able to see all the students working in real time, and the emoji will help you, the educator, understand if they're happy with what they've done, they're frustrated with what they've done, they're angry at this moment because they have no idea what they're doing. That emoji allows you, the teacher, to do a quick poll of the room and identify those students who may need a little bit of extra help when they are doing that. And then it says right here with this image, that's where Screencastify comes in. Screencastify is great because it allows you to screencast anything that you're doing. So the students would come here to Screencastify, right here. They would select record my desktop. This is the one they would want to record, and they click share, and it goes 3, 2, 1. And the students say, okay, so Mr. Marquez has asked me what I understood in this article. Well, the reason I highlighted this in red is because, and the reason this is highlighted in green is because, and then down here, I didn't have a chance to actually read this section. So I'm gonna go back and figure that out. But thank you so much for allowing me to show you what I have learned. And then the students would then stop sharing. And the Screencastify automatically uploads this right to their Google Drive. You can see right up here, it is saving it right to their drive. The key to this is clicking on copy shareable link. Now you're not gonna grab the link. You're just gonna make sure they select copy shareable link so that when they put it in the slide snap, it's viewable to anybody who has that link. So that is extremely key when doing this protocol right here. So once it is done uploading to the device, I click enable shareable link. Now it is shared. Now the students come in, they hit insert, video, in my Google Drive most recently. And that's key, that's the thing. Google Drive, most recent, it'll bring up the video, here it is. They hit select, right there. And they would place the video right there. And it'll play. You can say, okay, so Mr. Marquez right in their device, which is phenomenal. Now, if the students do not want a video of their face, or they don't want a video of their screen, if they just want to explain what they've done in your Screencastify, they can download it as just the audio only. And that audio will be placed right into their Google Drive. And that will allow the students to then come over here and hit insert audio recently from my drive. Here it is right here. And they hit select, and it will then place an actual audio button instead. And here's the reason that we do this. We want to give the students a choice on how they want to share their voice. It can be done through video, it can be done just through audio, it can be done through text, it can be done through images. So it allows them to give those. So what I want to do is give everybody a chance to kind of play around with this. So if you are on the slide deck and you can click right here, that'll take you to our whole CVQ class slide snap. So all I want you to do is take maybe a screen grab of your screen. It could be a screen grab of everybody's faces in this Zoom if you want. And then I want you to place that snap here. I want you to put your name I want you to drag an emoji. And then if you want, you can then come in and then add text or audio. I want to give you a few minutes to do that. And while we do have these minutes, I want anybody to be able to ask any questions on this protocol, how it can be used, when it could be used, or how you can see you can be utilizing this in your class as well. Now, a good protocol for this when you are face-to-face with your students is if you have seat numbers, you would tell seat number 3 to go to slide 3, seat number 4 to go to slide number 4, and then 1 and 2 would be on the last 2 slides just to help them out. So this will allow you to actually have an easier way for students to find which slide they're on. In a remote learning environment, we always say claim your frame. So find the frame first, and the first thing you do is put your name, and if somebody's name is on the frame, that one's already taken. So if I go to, and here's one more thing, and it took me a while to figure this out because of everything. It's grid view. When you're going into grid view, it's perfectly fine to click on it, but make sure you know to get out of grid view, it is Control-Alt-1. And the reason is because with everybody working on these slides, if you try to click on view and then click on grid view again, as soon as another student does something, it'll take you out. So make sure you know Control-Alt-1 so that when it is time to go out of grid view, we're done. So you can see how easy it is. I can see everybody's emojis right up here. If somebody had put down an angry emoji, I would be able to see that and be able to contact that student and make sure that I can help them out in any way and why they are having trouble with that section. And grid view is a really fun way to actually start off your class. I usually do something in my class called Who's in the Room, and people can make a slide of just images that represent who they are. And so you can put it in grid view and see all the students working in real time. And it really gives the teacher a chance to get to know the students based on iconography, which is very important. So I tell the students, no words, just images. The only words I want is your name, and that is it. And so it's a really great way to start the year off. It gives them a chance to identify how to actually embed objects and embed images into a slide. So it gives them that chance to learn, but in a fun way that's not course specific. I call that Mr. Miyagiing them, showing them one way to do it that's fun. And then when it comes time to actually doing an assignment, they already know how to do it, just like from the Karate Kid. All right. So if you want to keep playing in that slide snap template, go ahead. It's going to be open forever, so you may go in here and play around with it at your leisure. But I do want to go on to our next item right here, which is YouTube projects. So YouTube projects is something that I created because I love YouTube for connecting with educators outside of the classroom. But, you know, with our younger students or maybe with certain certain restrictions that schools have, students may have YouTube turned off. Students may not be able to access YouTube. They just may be too young. They may be under that 13 age mark where they can't do it. So what we did was we created a YouTube template right out of Google Slides. It looks just like YouTube. And the idea behind it is this is where students are going to place maybe a how-to video that they recorded from Screencastify. So what they would do is the exact same thing. Let's say that you're teaching a coding class and you wanted them to actually go through one of the code.org projects. Right, so let's say that the students wanted to try this code and you wanted them to give a kind of a step-by-step on how to do it. The students would come in here. They would click on Screencastify. They would hit record. For this, I always, I love the webcam to be turned on. Boom. Yes, perfect. So I have them record their screen and I have them keep the webcam on, and they can definitely turn it off because it's their choice, but I like to do it like this. Okay, so on code.org, right here is going to be very important. So make sure you definitely click here. And then when we come over here, you want to make sure that down here, you are always clicking on this so the students can actually be part of the pointer. If they don't want that, they can definitely turn the camera off in midstream, and they can emphasize with the annotation feature built right in to that Screencastify. So what we're doing now is once it is done, we're going to hit stop sharing. It's going to, once again, upload right to our Google Drive. And as soon as it is done, you're going to make sure that they click on copy shareable link. Once again, we're not going to use the shareable link, but as soon as you do that, it turns the file into a shareable file. And that's what we definitely want. Otherwise, you're going to have that warning, sorry, you don't have access to this file. So once we're here, they would come into, oh, look at that. That's a great dance right there. So once we come in here, we then come and place this video. Same thing. We go insert, video, untitled, hit select, and they would just put it right here. Just like that. Off to the side, they type what they did. They will give their video a name, just like on YouTube, right here. And then underneath, this is an extra section where they can type as well. And if you do this with all of your students, you end up with a whole YouTube channel of your students. And it's just like your own personal class YouTube channel. And each slide has its own individual instructions. So if they wanted to change this right here to make it their own emoji, they just right click and replace the image right there. So it looks very similar to a YouTube channel, but gives those students who are younger, who don't have the opportunity to have a YouTube channel, the YouTube-esque essence of it. So what I would like you to do now is, if you'd like to take the next 2 to 3 minutes, right click on this. That will take you to our all CVQ YouTube. And I just like you to play around. And if you don't want to put a video, you can just put a picture so that you can kind of see what this looks like in its entirety when you are here and you are doing the grid view. It looks just like a great YouTube channel for your students. I've actually shared this with a few teachers, and I've seen some of them actually have the students do this and create like a YouTube diary. That's why I put this little YouTube home at the bottom, because they can have like a home screen with buttons and they can actually click on it. It'll take them right to that slide, and clicking home will bring them back. So it's a pretty neat way to, once again, especially our littles, the K2 Can2s, and even up, through 6th grade, because they're, too young to get on YouTube based on YouTube policies. This allows them to get that chance to be a YouTube quote unquote star in their own classroom. And yeah, you could even bring in an actual YouTube channel too, like an actual YouTube video into this, so that if you don't want to send your students to YouTube, they can watch that YouTube video right off your fake YouTube channel, which can be a pretty neat thing to do for your students. And we did the same thing. Like, once again, if you do the same thing over and over and over again, the newness wears off. I found that out with Kahoot, right? When I was a TOSA for my school, we would do Kahoot, and I shared it with all the teachers, so they all did Kahoot. And so after a month, everybody's got Kahoot fatigue because you're using the same tool in every class. So kind of the same thing with these templates. You don't want to do YouTube all the time. So you can definitely use this Daily Prophet one. Right? So the Daily Prophet is a video, kind of a newspaper with movable images. And so you can have the students paste in a GIF, or they can put their video here, and they can type about why it was important. So if you don't want to use the YouTube all the time, you can use this Daily Prophet-esque thing right here as well. And I saw a question in the background, like, so a lot of these things that you have here, you can actually make these your a master template as a background. So if you look here, if I go under View Master, anything you place in the master cannot be moved once it's on the slide. So if there are images that you don't want the students to move around, or if you don't want them to have them delete the YouTube icon, you paste it into the master template. And once you come over to the actual, there's no way you can delete those images that are placed in there. And you can do the same thing with text boxes, create text boxes that are already there pre-made for the students. So it's a pretty neat way. And that's what I did with the Daily Prophet as well. All of these icons here have been pasted into the master so that they can't be deleted. So all of these things here are from the master. And so when it comes to the student template, those things cannot be deleted. Only the things that I made editable for them to utilize. A very key thing when utilizing templates here in your Google Slides. Yes, Corey. I mean, yeah, ViewMaster's phenomenal, right? I mean, you know, I've seen teachers once they found out about it, it like opened up all these possibilities. You know, one of the things early on was, you know, teachers were looking for a way in Google Docs to make editable fields but other things not be deleted, and you can do that definitely in a Google slide. Make it into a paper kind of format, and you can make editable sections, but things cannot be deleted. So it's a really neat feature. So I showed you Slide Snap, and a Slide Snap is a quick snapshot in learning. And these are things that you can utilize in your classroom. You can have a copy of it in your Google Classroom. And whenever they click on it, it'll just force a copy for them. And so you go, okay, I want to see a snap. Okay, slide snap, slide snap. So it can become a routine in your classroom. We showed you the YouTube template that allows you to bring in images, images, GIFs, or videos to have that YouTube-esque channel. And then we also showed that you can do it with the Daily Prophet as well. And all of these are available for you on the very last slide. All the resources that you're going to need are all right here for you, and you can take them and copy them and remake them for anybody. So please share and share alike. That's what I love to see when we're out there. So this next one is absolutely hilarious and fun at the exact same time. But it takes a little bit of an extra step than just putting in a video. And let me show you why. You cannot make a video as your background. So if you brought a video in here, it automatically plays up at the front. So if you wanted to create a TikTok template where the video is playing in the background, traditionally that's not the case. You can't actually do that. So there's a way that you can do it by splitting the video into images and audio. So let me show you. And I want you to try this. I absolutely want you to try this. And I do have this for you available right here. Actually, I don't know if I put the link there. So let me grab the link, and I'm gonna put that in. Not Can View. I want you to actually be able to edit this. So let me do this because it's super fun once you get it done. I've seen students get really into this because nobody wants to tell people that you're allowing your kids to get on TikTok, right? Even though they already are. This is a way for you to actually do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually hyperlink the very top TikTok right here for you, so you can actually get into that presentation. There we go. So I want you to watch this. So you do the same thing up here with your Screencastify, except I'm going to record a video of just myself. So I'm going to click on webcam only, and I'm going to hit record. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to record myself, and I'm going to kind of frame myself here in the middle because that's where that TikTok is going to be. And I'm going to go right here. All right, I'm a TikTok making man. I love TikTok. It's so awesome. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so they just do something like that. Then they're going to hit stop. And it automatically uploads it. But here is the key thing. Here's the key. Once it is done, you are not going to use the video. You're not going to use the video at all. What you're going to use is these secondary options down here. So what you're going to do is you're going to export it as a GIF and then export it as an audio only. That's exactly what you're going to do. So you're not going to take this video up here. You're going to take the GIF and the audio. So I'm going to click here, export as GIF. I'm going to shrink the size a little bit so it doesn't take up so much room. I'm going to go down to about 400. I'm going to click export right there. And then I'm also going to export the audio only. So I have both of these being taken down right here. The audio is going to be placed right in your Google Drive. The GIF is going to be placed in your on your machine, whatever your machine is, your Chromebook or your laptop or your MacBook. And so what you're going to do now is this. Once you've done that, you're going to place it in, and let me show you this. So this is the folder you're going to get access to right here, and it has an exact copy of how you're going to do this. And because the GIF is considered an image, it'll stay in the background. So here you go right here. and I placed the audio right here. And the key to the audio is this. Under Format Options, you want to make sure audio playback is set for automatically. As soon as the slide plays, the audio plays. So the audio and the GIF sync up together. And notice it's right behind. You have the record player that's putting the music out. The students can come in here and actually edit the little TikTok words down there. And if they want to edit the image right here, same thing, they can right click and then they can replace the image with their own face to make it very TikTok-esque. And it's so cool because when you go into grid view and you see this, you can see all the students with their GIFs right up at the top in this TikTok-esque kind of style. It's super neat, and the kids really love it, and they appreciate the fact that you're kind of meeting them where they're at. And I think that's the key important part to this, is that you're meeting them to where they're at, and they really enjoy it. And you know, there's always going to be a new app that's all the rage, right? And right now it seems TikTok is that. And so take this, make a copy of it, utilize this with your students. It's really, really neat when we could do that. And if you're a Flipgrid user, I'm going to show you a way that you can do all of this in Flipgrid. The YouTube video, the Daily Profit, all of these right in YouTube. So I'm going to show you that in a minute as well. And I would give you time to actually do this, but it takes time to do the recording. It takes a little bit of time for the GIF to download, and it takes a little bit of time for that audio to put in. But I once again, I do have this already made for you right here. And so after this is done, sometime tonight, I would love to see all of you try this. And I want to actually showcase it on Twitter that we all did this, and it can be done. It's pretty neat. And all of the templates have instructions built right into them, so the students know exactly what to do. Replace the TikTok, it shows you how to upload the image. All of this is built right in to the template so that you can definitely share it out with students, and it has those instructions built right in for you. All right, so here's another cool one that we have. So we've been doing a lot of Google Slides, and I always do that because you know what? You know, sometimes, especially when we have new teachers that are just learning technology, when we send them to this app and that app and that app, it can get overwhelming. But if you do a whole bunch of stuff in one particular thing like G Suite, and they get really good at it, then they build that confidence to go outside that realm. So we do a lot in the G Slides because of that exact fact. Because once you get them to understand what that master template is, understand that you can embed GIFs and all these things, it really takes off what can be done in the classroom. So that's why I wanted to show you all these things done out of G Slides, because it's pretty cool, and it's one app they're learning to use. But here's another one. And so this is a sketch and tell, and this is right out of the Edge of Protocol book. And I love sketch and tell. And I do have a sketch and tell in here for you that's done out of a Google slide. But the problem with Google Slides is that there is no real true drawing section of it. There's a scribble tool, which is very blocky and such. If you want a true drawing tool, Jamboard is the way to go. And I know that Susan yesterday did a great session on Jamboard, but I just want to show you really quickly how this is done. So if you want to try it along with me, all you have to do is come down here. Let's try it together. And then we'll open up this Jamboard. And the same thing that I ask of the students, I have the instructions on this very first slide. The instructions are here. And I tell the students to claim their frame. So they have their name here. So I'm going to claim frame 1. So I'm going to double click, and under name, I'm going to type Joe M. There we go. I must have my caps lock on, but it's okay. So I've claimed this frame. So you would come in and claim it as well. And just like there is grid view in Google Slides, if you hit down, there is board view or jam view. Oh, I like jam view. Let's call it the jam view. You have jam view up here at the top. And so you can see all the students working in real time. So if I was to ask them the question like, draw me y2 plus 2 equals 4 in a visual, draw me that, then the students would come in here. They would claim their frame. Under name, they would type in their name. And then they would hit this little pin. And so I'm going to draw why 2 plus 2 equals 4. So I'm going to go, okay, 2 plus 2 equals 4. And they can show like 2 circles plus 2 circles equals 4 circles. So maybe that's how they do it. So they're visually showing it to you. And then they would come over here and tell you, type why it is here. 2 things with 2 more things equals 4 things. Sounds like a Dr. Seuss book. So, but it goes in there. And so they're sketching and telling why it's what it is. And so I showed this to John. He's like, oh, this is great. That really elevates sketch and tell. Once again, I have this for you in that folder you have access to. When you click on this, it's view only, but all you have to do to make your very own copy is you come up here to the 3 dots and select make a copy. And that will allow you to make your very own copy of this Jamboard, even if it is in view only. Okay, so what I would like you to do, if you would like, is come into this Jamboard and just draw. Just come in and just draw something and then just type something. It doesn't have to be anything content related or anything. I just want you to see how easy it is to push this out to students. And this can be pushed out through Google Classroom just like anything else, right? Individual student, all students, that kind of thing. So you can definitely push this out to your students. Since we don't have Google Classroom, what I did is under share, I just made it as anyone with the link can edit, is basically what I did. It just makes it super easy to push this out. This is also great to be doing with your PD in your department, or if your principal pushed this out for everybody else. The only downside to it is this is the web-based version, which is 100% free. It is limited on the amount of features, but all we want them to do is draw and tell us what they drew. And you're limited to 20. So if you do have 40 students in your classroom, you would push out 1 to the first 20 in your class. And you can do that in Google Classroom, and then you push out the next one to the last 20 in the class, because you can push out something to the entire class or individual students. So that's how I would push out this sketch and tell to them. But it's pretty neat. I love that tree right there, Cindy. Very good tree, I can tell. But it just does a really good job. But here's the thing. Students love video. Students love to talk. And right here, we're only giving them our choices, the choice to draw and the choice to type. What if they want to also explain what they did in their own words? Let me show you how we are going to app smash, okay? App smash. So once your students are done with their sketch and tell, it's all done, they're all done with it, they're gonna come up here to the 3 dots. And they are gonna save the frame, and it's only this frame. They're gonna save the frame as an image, just like this. Done. Now watch this. If you are a Flipgrid fanatic like I am, I did a whole hacking the grid thing yesterday. If you are a Flipgrid fanatic, let me show you what you do. You have the students come into a Flipgrid. You can say it, call it whatever you want. They click on the plus button, and they're right here. Hi, everybody. They come in here, and before they start talking, they add a custom sticker, which is just an image. And that's the image they just downloaded right here from their Jamboard. And there it is. They can make it the whole screen right here, just like this. And they can then hit record, 3, 2, 1. And then they can even annotate on top their annotation. All right, so I did this and I saw that 2 plus 2 equals 4. And I said, look, I have 1 thing and 2 things here and another thing here. And if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, I have 4 things. That's how I get 2 plus 2 equals 4. Hit pause, hit next. And then they can even annotate on, and I hit next again. It does ask for a selfie. When the students are doing this, either have them do a selfie, or if you click these 3 dots, they can select a frame right here. And so I always have that frame ready for them, and I under the sketch so I can see what it is, and they hit next and submit that video. So it's pretty neat, and it's right there. They hit complete, and now their sketch and tell is built right in to this Flipgrid right here. Pretty neat. So that's if you want to app smash, okay? And you can do this with your Google Slides as well. If your students just want to utilize the slide snap right here and not put their video in, if that's a little bit too hard for them to actually learn how to use Screencastify, then they would bring in their image, they would type in their text, and then they would come over here to File, Download as a JPEG. It's just that one slide they are downloading as a JPEG, and they would do the exact same thing in Flipgrid. They'd hit the plus button, and then when they log in with their account, they would click on the sticker option right here. Add that custom sticker. It's what they just downloaded. And then they hit open. So it's right there. So once again, this is if Screencastify is just too much for your littles. But clicking download and going into Flipgrid is not. Boom, it's right there. So just another way of being able to get this here for your students. And let me just exit.
Hey, Joe.
Yes.
On Jamboard, is there any way to make it so that people have to log into their Google so it's not anonymous?
So what I would do that by pushing it out through Google Classroom. It'll automatically make it so it's available to the people in that class. And so when they're logging in, it should identify their Gmail or their Google email, and it should show you who it is.
And then, because I was messing with Rochelle's Jamboard, is there like a revision history in case kids are messing with stuff or no?
In the Jamboard, I do not see a revision history at the moment. Okay. And so this is something that would, you would train them to do over time. And here's the thing as well. If there is no like master copy, like we have another thing. So if they hit clear frame, the entire frame goes away and everything you put on there is gone. So that is another downside of that. And yeah, so and also let's say that students are working here and then another student does something they didn't like, so they hit undo. It undoes the last thing done on the Jamboard, not just theirs. So you want to just make sure that they're only erasing with the eraser and not hitting the undo button. That's another key aspect of the Jamboard. But everything that we're telling you, Denise, about this can actually be done right out of Flipgrid. So I created something, and once again, in our slides at the very last one, it has links to all of these grid hacks that I'm going to show you right now. And I did a whole session on all of these, but you can actually create your very own sketch and tell right out of Google Draw. So a place they sketch, and then I cut out a window using a tool called Pixlr X, which is a cloud-based a photo editor. And so I just cut this out and watch what we can do. So once the students have downloaded this right here to their machine, and then they jump into the Flipgrid, watch what they can do. So if you don't want to do the Jamboard sketch and tell, but you still like the drawing and the explaining, right into your Flipgrid, you can paste that sticker, we call it. And so when they click here, they can turn the whole thing here into a picture-in-picture sketch and tell. And so they would come in, they would click on drawing, and they'd hit play, 3, 2, 1, and they can go, all right, so 2 plus 2 equals, and then so they can do everything that I showed you on Jamboard in real time while talking themselves through it in this sketch and tell right off of the Jamboard. Pretty neat way to all right, so 2 plus way to utilize that sticker option right out of your Flipgrid. Now, nice. I want to show you this other thing as well, because remember I showed you all of the daily profits and all of the YouTube and all of these things. You can actually do that right out of your Flipgrid as well. So let's say you wanted to do the daily profit. I included the image with that window cut out right here. And yesterday I walked through this entire thing on how you can cut the window out. And so I'm going to post that as well for you. And it's also on the YouTube channel already on how to do it. But once they've downloaded this, watch what they can do. It's really fun. So they come into this Flipgrid right here. They click plus right there. They bring in the sticker of the daily profit.
Oh yeah, because the custom sticker, holy fudge muffins, he thought through this.
And then I just make it big. We're not done, because in the daily profit, anybody else wizards out there, in the daily profit, it's not color, it's muted, not mutated, muted. So I go to filters and I select the gray out, and now we're in the Daily Prophet. And so if you don't want to do it in your Google Slides, you can actually make it in Google Slides and bring it right into Flipgrid to be done. And so it's pretty neat. You can even do it. Let me erase. I can clear this out. I'm going to unmute my color. And I call these grid masks. A mask is covering something that's in the background, but is allowing something through. So here's another grid mask that I made, the TikTok grid mask. So if you don't want to go through the entire way of recording on Screencastify and then downloading it down, you can do a TikTok right out of Flipgrid, right here. The only downside is you're not getting the animated GIFs because Flipgrid does not do animated GIFs yet. I hope that changes. That'd be amazing. But you can still do a Flipgrid thing right out of here, which is pretty neat. So it's pretty good. And then if you like Iron Man, I know a lot of students do. I made an Iron Man hub as well. So you can make the entire screen here your Iron Man hub. Bring your face in here, and you can just have the kids looking up all over the place like they're in Iron Man. So, and these are super simple to make. And once again, on my YouTube channel, I show you exactly how to make these grid masks in Google Drawing, and then how to cut that window out using pixlr.com/x. Super easy. And then the power of this comes in. Once again, it's about student voice and student choice. The power of this is if they say, I don't want to do the Daily Prophet, can I make my own? Yes, that's what we want. We want the students to be able to make their own, have that voice, have that choice, and have that creative aspect of it. And the last thing I want to show you, because I think time is coming down to the end. I think we have about 10 more minutes. I want to show you this. It's another one another Flipgrid right here called Grid Snaps. It's just like a slide snap, but in Flipgrid. So we call it a grid snap. And I created a grid snap whiteboard. And so all you would have to do is come in here. And I call this chapter chat because in this grid snap, I want them to talk about a chapter they were doing. So they would just click download. And this is why I love this in Flipgrid, because let's say that you're an 8th grade English teacher and one of the books that you have to read is The Outsiders. The chapters themselves don't have any titles. So imagine if you did this activity with them. You say, okay, the chapter in this book has no titles. I want you, as you are reading the chapter, to collect artifacts along the way. So I want you to either take a picture of the book or the paragraph that is meaningful to you. Take a picture with your Chromebook, take a picture with your phone, or if you have a PDF, use the awesome screenshot to take screen grabs of those chapters. Bring out pictures, bring out any artifacts you can, and explain to us why that chapter is a name that you want to give them. And so once they've downloaded this right here to their device, watch this. So they come in here to this Flipgrid, they hit screen record, and of course log in with their account. You're going to bring that chapter chat right up here with that same sticker. Done. And I always tell the students, I want you to preload your frame. Before you start talking, I want you to preload your frame. So they're going to click on, you can layer stickers. That's pretty cool. So you're going to bring in all the artifacts that you took pictures of right on top of your chapter. So let's say that here is the paragraph that you found meaningful. Let's say the students really wanted to go out, and so they found The Outsiders title as a PNG. So let's see if I can scroll down. I know I did this earlier, so I have it around here. Here we go. So here's The Outsiders name. Put it right there. Let's say they grabbed the actual book art of the book that they wanted to bring in. So they would scroll down. Here's the book art. And now we turn on the annotation tool and hit record. And so the students would come in and say, Oh, so I read chapter 1 of The Outsiders, and I read it, and you know what? They were talking about this guy named Soda, but he was the oldest brother, and he doesn't resonate with me at all because I'm the youngest person in my family. So the person I did resonate with was, and so you would snap and pause, and they would bring in another image. So let's say that their favorite character was Pony Boy. So they click here and bring in Pony Boy right here. They hit record. Oh, there's Pony Boy right there. I really wish Pony Boy was here to talk to us. Pause. And the same way that I took the window out of my slide snap, I took the mouth out of Pony Boy. And this is going to scare some people. Right there. And then I talk. Yes, I'm Pony Boy. And I was a smaller member of my group, but I was really relevant to the story and this chapter. So I'm going to call chapter 1, The Pony Express. Done. And the kids just hit next. Oh, so I read chapter 1 of The Outsiders, and I read and so because I'm the youngest person in my family. So the person I did resonate with was, oh, there's Pony Boy right. It makes it look like magic. It pops up. And so now you can have an entire class and come in here and do these chapter reviews or book reviews right out of Flipgrid with this picture-in-picture whiteboard to do a slide snap, a snapshot in learning at the moment after they've read the chapter, a quick check-in. Pretty neat. And we have all of these we have math, we have the math quips, we have science symposiums, we have the chapter chats, we have all of these things all available for you right at the end, once again, at the end of this session. So all of these grids that I've been on, you have access to. So I'm going to give you a little bit of homework because I love seeing participation, and it doesn't have to happen in real time. And I think that's what we really have to grasp as educators right now in this remote learning environment, that we can put something out on Monday and not expect for it to be done until Friday. And that's perfectly fine. And so when we do these remote learning PD sessions, there's not enough time to be able to do all these activities and for me to show all the activities. So what I would love you to do, since you have access to this slide deck, you have access to all of these examples, I would love for you to come in here and do some of these flip grids and do some of those examples just so I can see that you're resonating and using them, because it fills my bucket to see things that I show and teachers are resonating with it. It really makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. And once again, all of these resources here are found right here. And these are all hyperlinked. You click on it, it'll take you to that exact folder. You can make a copy, you can share it out. And if you learned anything today at all that you loved or resonated with you, or you had an aha moment, I would love for you to share that out on Twitter. Brian placed in our chat the hashtags, hashtag CDQ, hashtag WeAreQ, and just push that out there because we love to see teachers resonating with things that we are saying. And for all of you out there, if you loved these stickers, I want you to tweet Flipgrid out and say that you love hashtag grid masks, because what I'm asking them is if we as educators start using this, I'm asking them to put a brand new button down here called custom stickers, a place where students can click and just like here, all the teacher custom stickers that students can use will automatically pop up. So instead of having to go to the click and then download and then upload, it's all going to be here for them. So if you think that's a great idea, please tweet at Flipgrid, and hopefully that'll be something that they add here in the future. Thank you so much for taking the time to learn with us today. Thank you so much for all that you do for your students in a face-to-face environment, and everything you've learned and everything that you're doing to keep connecting with your students in this remote learning environment. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to contact me on Twitter. And then also definitely contact anybody else that is in the Sons of Technology group, because we thrive on helping educators, because anytime we help educators, we know we're helping students, and that's absolutely what we love to do. So thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the rest of your CVQ 2020 and have yourself a wonderful and magical day. Thank you so much.